Here's Barack Obama at an event earlier today. He spoke yesterday at an event that I don't believe was on camera, but here he is. I want to play a fair amount of it for you so you can see where President Obama is coming out on all of this. This is President Obama talking about Charlie Kirk and extending the presumption of grace. Number 4, please.
Look, obviously I didn't know Charlie Kirk. I was generally aware of some of his ideas. I think those ideas were wrong. But that doesn't negate the fact that what happened was a tragedy and that I mourn for him and his family. He's a young man with 2 small children and a wife who obviously, and a huge number of friends and supporters who cared about him. And so we have to extend grace to people during their period of mourning and shock. We can also, at the same time, say that I disagree with the idea that the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was a mistake. That's not me politicizing the issue. It's making an observation about who are we as a country. I can say that I disagree with the suggestion that my wife or Justice Jackson does not have adequate brain processing power. I can say that I disagree that Martin Luther King was awful. I can disagree with some of the broader suggestions of that liberals and Democrats are promoting a conspiracy to displace whites and replace them by ushering in illegal immigrants. Those are all topics that we have to be able to discuss honestly and forthrightly, while we still insist that in that process of debate, we respect other people's right to say things that we profoundly disagree with. That's
okay. So I know that I don't need to look at the chat to know that some conservatives, some MAGA people will look at that and say they're troubled by 2 things: troubled by criticizing the other side and cheering. And Elizabeth, I guarantee you we'll see that on Sunday. I guarantee you we'll see on Sunday cheering at Charlie's memorial service in a football stadium. So what struck you about what President Obama said?
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't seen that clip. I'm actually genuinely surprised watching it. I'm like torn between this is what Barack Obama thought was the right thing to say, and this is what he wanted to say, because if he had said the decent thing, his own party would have criticized him. I mean, the cheering didn't start, by the way, when he condemned the shooting. The cheering started when he said, "But I disagree with Charlie Kirk."
Yep. Yeah.
I don't think, while the body is still cold and not buried yet, is an appropriate time for a former president of the United States to find everything he ever disagreed with from Charlie, most of which was taken out of context, by the way, and tell the world that he disagreed with it. He is the former president. Everybody knows where he stands. He's a very big deal. I don't think that's appropriate or necessary. And I just think it's more proof that absolutely nothing is going to change. Charlie Kirk did not say that Barack Obama's wife or Justice Jackson doesn't have brain cells or whatever he said. He did not say the Civil Rights Act was a mistake. I think this was so inappropriate and so unnecessary. And again, I am trying desperately to be careful of my words after what happened, because if God forbid it happened again to anyone, but let's say to someone on the left, I couldn't live with myself worrying that maybe I was 1% of the reason.
Yeah.
I don't know how these people are continuing what they're doing.
I'm struck that the President of the United States went on stage armed like an opposition researcher.
Exactly.
With some things that were kind of true, but as Elizabeth just suggested, some things that are not true. Yeah. I find it stunning that he was armed with that stuff and that they didn't say to him, Mr. President, if you want to point out some of the positions of Charlie Kirk that people in our party disagree with. Let's stick with stuff in context and true rather than doing what he did. I'm really surprised, I have to say. I am surprised.